what's up, FloCombaters? What a special situation here, man. Like, we kind of talked about Instagram. We're in Simpsonville, and what a wonderful day. There's wonderful weather, and there's a wonderful fighter named Wonderboy. Look at that segue. See that? That's what I get paid for.
I love it, baby. I love it.
What's up, Stephen? How you doing, man?
Doing good.
Now,
doing good.
I want to tell you, folks, this is how good Stephen is about this stuff, man. It's a day. He's got a bunch of family stuff going on. He's got like, you guys have a family party, and you made the time to pop out. Jump in and rock out this interview with us, man.
Yeah, man. You know, we actually had the whole Weidman family down here from New York City. Chris is actually not too far. Try to get him to come, but I know he's helping his sister get ready. But have a baby reveal party going on today. But you know what? Always really cool having a chance to hang out with you guys.
See, I'm telling you, man. So you and I, we've done interviews for a long time, right? And one thing I've always been fascinated is by how you work space, okay? You work space in such a killer way that nobody else does it. And Justin Scott has actually told us, he wanted me to tell you hi for one, and big shout out. And then he said the thing about watching Stephen fight is he makes all of his adjustments and adaptations, but they have to adapt to your style.
Yeah, and you know what? By the way, shout out to my man Justin, by the way. I've known that guy for a very long time. But it's very different. It's just a different style, and it's very difficult to get used to actually bring guys in to be able to get used to, you know, that kind of style. Which is what I love. I love this style because it's hard to adapt to. You know, I've been doing striking my entire life. I've fought, sparred, and had the privilege of sparring with some really high-level MMA guys, starting out with George St. Pierre. And so I fought a lot of guys, which is good. You know, if you're an up-and-coming MMA fighter, get out there, spar with as many people as possible, so that way when you step in the octagon or in that cage, you know, you're able to adapt to your opponent quickly because you know in the past that you fought somebody with that same similar style.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. And you know, you're coming off the 2 fights with Woodley, 2 championship fights, and even though they didn't go your way, there were still so many positives to take from. Like, you know that you're right there, man.
Yeah.
You know you're right there, and you know if things go a little differently, that belt's yours.
Exactly. No, that I'm not giving up on that belt. You know, I got a tough opponent ahead of me, but I learned a lot during those Tyron Woodley fights. You know, keeping the distance. Obviously, constantly working on my wrestling, or you know, getting back up on my feet. He's one of the best wrestlers in the division.
Yep.
So you know, I went 5 rounds with the guy. You know, 10 rounds actually.
Yep.
You know, twice. So always stuff I gotta work on, but you know what? We'll do it again.
You know what's funny is the guy you're about to fight, Jorge Masvidal. You know, he's a pretty straight shooter, and he talks a lot of stuff on people on social media. He has nothing bad to say about you because you are a fighter. You know what I mean? So how's it feel to have, like, you know, respect is what it is, but Masvidal's a guy who's as much street as he is anything else, and he's like, you know what? He's like, Wonderboy comes out and does the damn thing.
You know what? I think that's awesome. You know, that's what I want to be known for. I want to be known to go out there and put on a good show. Masvidal, they call him game bred for a reason. He's always out there. I mean, he's always game.
Yep.
It doesn't matter who you are, what kind of style you are. He's going to go out there and do his thing, and he's going to try and punch and kick you in the face.
Yep.
He's very well-rounded fighter. He's very crafty on the ground. But man, you know, it's going to be a brawl. UFC 217, watch out for that fight. I know there's 3 title shots on the title fight.
Still though, I think that's what I'm saying. I think you and George got $50K a piece coming to you, you know what I mean?
Bonus, baby, that's the plan.
But how's it feel to you? Like, you know, the Woodley fights were very much they were chess matches, right? Let's not joke about that. You know, people are like, oh, you know, because Woodley got a lot of grief, right, on the fight, because Woodley fought a different kind of fight where he was definitely more strategic because he was afraid of some of the things you did, right? But he had to fight a championship caliber fight. You and Masvidal, although the styles are different, you guys both to come up there and do it with this in your feet.
Exactly, man. You know, he's always game to go out there and throw blows. You know, Tyron just had a different style. He loved to back up. That's the complete opposite of what Jorge Masvidal loves to do. He comes forward and he tries to get in your face. And for me, I love it when people do that. But the thing is, he's very good at adapting as well. His clinch work is like no other in the welterweight division.
Yep.
So closing that gap, you know, I feel that he's going to try and do that. Get close in, use his clinch work, throw some knees, throw some elbows, and you know, everybody knows how I fight.
Yep.
Everybody knows I like to keep the distance. I've been working a whole lot. I mean, especially the last 2 Tyron fights, working on my in-close game, working on my boxing a lot. But man, I don't care, man. I'm ready to go out there, you know, November 4th and just put in some work. Just go out there and just let it all out in the octagon. Let everybody know that I'm still in this, welterweight, title contention.
Yep.
And I'm gonna stay.
And look at this, man. He looks straight out of Top Gun. Of course he's serious. Of course he's serious. You do, man. Like, dude.
Thanks, man. That's a compliment.
You are. Like, man, and I'm manly enough to say, like, that I always give handsome credit where it's, hey, you're a handsome son of a bitch. Wonderboy. I got all confused.
It's all good.
Handsomeness got me.
Tyron's a handsome dude, too. But,
yes, he's handsome.
But, I've been doing this for a long time, and we train very smart. There's a lot of gyms out there who put on the small MMA gloves and try and knock each other out.
Yeah.
We train very smart. We pad up. We wear headgear, knee pads, elbow pads. I wear 18-ounce gloves for crying out loud. So, keeping a light to the head, which is why I'm still 34 years old. I'm a young 34-year-old.
Yeah.
I'm not fault-worn, even though I've got over 70-something fights, kickboxing and MMA. So yeah, man, it's all about training smart.
And that's why you're still good looking, right?
That's right, exactly.
So let me ask you this: like on the interview front, a lot of the times when the media sees you, you're cutting weight, you're 3 days out from a fist fight. That's your thing about it. You got a microphone in your face. What's it like to be like, okay, even though I know you're busy today, but have like FloCombat come to Simpsonville, just to where you can pop up down the street and.
This is cool. I mean, to have you guys actually come here, to me, which has never happened. This has never happened in my MMA career. Having these guys come to me, my hometown, and just chill out, man. And that's what it's all about. That's why hats off to you guys. That's why, I wanted to come out here and hang out with y'all today.
Yeah, man, that's what I'm saying. So here, let me tell you our mission on this trip specifically. So after Conor and Floyd fought, and then after Jones failed that test, there's just not a lot of good feelings in MMA right now, right? Feels kind of like a void. But there's big stuff coming. There's the 216 is there's some good fights there. 217 is a banger. All the guys the reason we fell in love with MMA is watching guys like yourself do it, watching guys like Frankie Edgar do it, right? Chris Weidman, watching guys put it all on the line. So what we're doing this trip for is we're visiting you guys specifically, the guys who always bring it. And that's what we're featuring, is to tell MMA fans, like, look, there's plenty to be happy about. Let's love it again.
Oh, definitely, man. I'm like you said, 216 is going to be an awesome fight. 217 is probably going to be the best fight of the year.
Yeah.
Best card of the year. We got 3 title fights. There's still good things happening. There's still exciting fights. So don't give up on MMA, man. I mean, it's the fastest growing sport in the world for a reason.
Yeah, and what we've been talking about too is that, remember there was times when, like, say, wrestlers dominated, then jiu-jitsu dominated for a little while, then strikers had their day again, and now it's like it's all back and it's up for grabs again. Like it's like the old Kumite stuff, right? Like styles versus styles. We're back to that.
It is, man. And you do have those guys, those striker specialists. You have those grappler specialists, Damien Maia, for instance.
Yeah.
And you do have those guys who mix it, together very well.
Yep.
That's why I think it's so exciting, because you don't know what kind of fight, what this guy's worked on. You see this grappler, you see this striker, which makes it all exciting, man. To me, you never know what's going to happen out there. You never know what's going to happen. So that's why I love watching MMA. That's why I fell in love with MMA, actually going up to TriStar to help George St. Pierre, who's going to be fighting
on that card.
On the card, 217. So he was my inspiration to switch from kickboxing to MMA, and that's why I fell in love with it, because every time I stepped out there on the mat to spar with somebody, there was always something different. This guy's a grappler, so I gotta work on my takedown defense. This guy's more of a striker. I like this guy. This guy's a grappler. He's gonna want to try and get me down and just control me on the ground. So that's why I fell in love with it, because you never know what's going to, and you have to adapt on the fly.
Yep,
you really do.
And how's it feel for you? Because I've talked to a lot of guys in the kickboxing world. One specifically, like Raymond Daniels. Like, you're a guy who had a lot of clout and a lot of appreciation in the kickboxing realm. How does it feel to know that, like, you crossed over to this MMA thing and you're one of the best in the world, if not the best at your weight? Like, you have that appreciation that a lot of guys can't grasp,
Well, and I got a lot of that, especially in the beginning, that a true kickboxer cannot come over to MMA and do well.
Yeah.
So I've always been a very competitive guy, and one of those guys that just kind of like, want to prove you wrong. Same thing. I tore everything in my left leg about 15 years ago. Yep. Doctor said I would never fight again. Where am I at right now?
Right.
Every time I see him, I'm like, I told you I was going to be here.
They don't call me Wonderboy for nothing.
Exactly. So same thing. I wanted to prove those guys wrong. So if you're coming up as a kickboxer, a Muay Thai stylist, or just a grappler, if you put in the work that I have, and a lot of these other guys have that come in from one style, you can make it happen. I'm #1 contender right now up there with Robbie Lawler, I believe. One or two, I'm not really sure. It kind of goes back and forth.
Yep.
But I'm at the top of the game right now. Fought for the title twice, so it can be done.
Now, you just mentioned something about up and coming, right? And we've had a big change where we're putting a lot of focus at FloCombat on the prospects, right? Regional MMA, building that up. We started our FloCombat rankings. You have a lot of people under your wing that are to get excited about.
Oh,
Can you
definitely.
let them know.
So we got a female fighter, Amberlyn Orr. She fights for Invicta. She's more of a grappler. She's actually come to us to work on her striking. Phenomenal athlete. We got a 205er, Carl Reed. He actually fought in the Contender Series.
Yep.
The guy's a monster. Didn't end up happening his way. Had a really bad weight cut at the time. That happens, man. You have those experiences. My second fight in the UFC, I fought Matt Brown.
Yeah.
Had the worst weight cut ever. So it happens, you know. But it's a learning experience for these guys that are up and coming. So that way, when they step in that octagon for the first time, they're more than ready. They've got the weight cut down. They are prepared. We got a guy named John Sweeney who fights at 135. The guy's a monster. Came from a wrestling background. Been training with us since he was in high school.
Yeah.
So I mean, we got some really good guys coming up out of Simpsonville, South Carolina. That's going to make it to the octagon. So keep an eye out for them.
You know, and I don't know, forgive me off the top of my head, but I do believe Carl's in our rankings. I believe James Lynch, our man, interviewed him recently. I want to point to that Matt Brown's fight specifically because I remember seeing that fight. And then, you know, you got that first knockout, that beautiful over the woo, you know,
that moneymaker,
that moneymaker. And then you fought Matt Brown, and then people were like, oh well, that's the blueprint to beat Wonderboy, right? And then you were like, you know, that competitive side came out, and you're like, that ain't never happened to me again.
Exactly.
And it ain't never happened since.
Exactly. You know, I fought some really aggressive guys, very similar styles. You know, Jake Ellenberger, Johnny Hendricks, and some of the best guys in the division. Rory McDonald, who is one of those type of guys who gets in your face, tries to take you down, very well rounded. And yeah, you know, like I said, that was my very first loss in my full contact career. And you know, you see a lot of athletes when they have that first loss, you know, either they go one or two directions.
Yep.
Either downhill from there, or they're gonna say, hey, you know what? It's a learning experience. I'm gonna go back and get better. I'm gonna prove everybody wrong, and I'm gonna kick some butt next time.
Yep.
And that's what I did. I gotta keep a very small circle of really good people around me to keep me focused on what my goals are and to keep me positive.
And now they say that a common thing I hear in this game is losses can either break you or remake you, right?
Exactly. So true.
And the true stock champions, it remakes them, right?
Yes, sir.
Because I mean, like you said, 70 fights. You know, I mean, all the competition with no losses, and then you get to the UFC and you get that one setback. That could easily been like, oh, well, I don't know what that feels like, but. Like I said, you got a brother-in-law who's a wrestling machine.
Oh,
you know, and I know because I talk to people. I know that that's the thing. You put in hardcore hours worth of work on your wrestling game.
Always, man. And you know, Chris Webb is one of the best guys out there. My wrestling coach, Coach Tom, of course, Carlos Machado, Brad, Shrain, Ian, all these guys have been helping with my grappling so much. And it's something that I do religiously every day. You know, because I came into this game fairly late. You know, hardly knowing any wrestling and jiu-jitsu. So I knew I had a lot of catching up to do. So we're still drilling this same stuff. I mean, the basic stuff every day. I know to some people it gets old, and it does sometimes. But if you want to be the best, you got to put in the work.
Yep. So finishing up here, Stephen. Look at that camera, because we're gonna see we're gonna see your man here in like 2 days. We're gonna see Masvidal in 2 days down here doing some work in South Florida. So if there's any message you want to give your dance partner in New York, let him know. Let Game Bread know that Wonderboy's coming.
First thing, baby. You know what, Jorge Masvidal, just be ready for the best Wonderboy anybody has ever seen, that you've ever seen, come November 4th. UFC 217, so be ready, baby.
There you have it, folks. Here we are, live in beautiful Simpsonville. Wonderboy's got a reveal to get to. He's gonna hit the family, man. That's how wonderful he is. He's gonna hit 4 things. He might deliver the baby. Who knows? Who knows what's gonna happen? But thanks, Stephen, for coming with us, and we'll catch you guys back in South Florida.